As I said before, for me this is a way of life. My website is called AuthenticSharing.com. And for me, this is me sharing myself authentically with you. And the dance that we do together can also be authentic. It's just about following the truth. And inside the truth. And by the way, truth always lives inside of an intention. So inner guidance lives inside of an intention or set of intentions. And so we can find some truth within our intentions with each other in our dance, whether it's the dance that we just did or the dance of life. For me, it's a pretty basic metaphor. So I'm open to any questions, or if there's anything you would like to share about your experience tonight, I would love to hear it. I'm sure others would as well. Questions or sharings? Too short? The last one?
No, it's just got us out of our heads, so to come back in.
Oh, you're coming back in your head now. That's true. You're probably in your bodies pretty big time. So probably not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I think some of the blood has moved down to the brain too.
Okay. Other areas.
So, yeah, well,
I'm sorry. Did I get your name? I forgot.
No, Curly.
What's your name?
Curly.
Cuddy?
Curly like curly hair.
Oh, Curly.
Yeah.
Oh, Curly. Wow. It's brought back a picture of the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But you don't look like them at all.
I don't know what the question is. It's something, so I'll give it a try. Something to do with something that has been coming up for me. And it's something to do with reference and irreverence, and how much you, like you said, for example, you asked to conjure a sexual energy between the two people if you wanted to. And it's something to do with, like, if there's something naturally coming to you, so say it's not a sexual energy, but then you decide you want to make it. You want to make it really intimate, you want to make it really sensual, you want to make it spiritual, you want to make it like sexual, you want to make it fun and playful, like all these things. Like, how much of that is, do you, in your feelings, like you choose, is to choose like what you want, and how much is just to go with what that truth is that's coming?
Well, as I said, truth lives inside your intentions.
Yeah.
So if you have an intention for fun, then there'll be a certain truth about how the energy moves. If you have a truth to share sexual energy, like you have a partnership or you have a lover and you want to share sexual energy, then there'll be a certain truth about how that shows up. And the interesting thing about following the truth, I use the term following the truth or inner guidance. And if you really listen deeply, the movements will come, there may be sounds. What will often happen, especially for me, and I don't know why, probably because of my horrible sexual identity that I created, that oftentimes what will happen is if I have an intention to share sexual energy with a partner, that there'll be all kinds of clearing that has to happen first. So I might have to cry or rage or shake in fear for maybe an hour before we actually get to the sexual fun part. I mean, now it's mostly just moving energy, so for me, all that stuff is fine. I mean, it's just energy. So I may have to move a lot of energy before there's, like, for example, penetration or intercourse or anything that gets more sexual in nature. So that's what I mean by following the truth, that there'll be just a truth of what happens, and there'll be, okay, next, and then something else happens, and then something else is supposed to happen. But it's inside the intention to share sexual energy. Did I answer your question?
I think that helps, yeah.
Okay. Yes?
I was just noticing, I really appreciate how this has expanded for me in my last few years of exploration. And one of the things that kind of brings that up is I was noticing when you asked us the question, what did my dance look like, and what did it feel like, or whatever, is how my head took it. And my mom's coming to visit this weekend, and she's all excited to go to dance with me on Sunday. And I'm thinking, she's gonna think I'm having sex with everybody in the room. I just know that's how mom's gonna see Sunday.
Well, are you?
No! But it wouldn't even be okay if I was.
Well, yeah.
There's a piece of me that goes, yeah, so what? And if that was my truth, it's not. But just watching how that still comes up after all this time of, you know, what's mom gonna think, or what's somebody gonna think, or what's this look like, or, you know, what do people think is going on when I'm in that kind of space. And I appreciate my own laughter at that, like I can laugh at myself for still having that story come up. And mom's gonna be here Sunday, so.
That should be quite interesting.
Challenge, yeah. So I appreciate that, reflecting on that and what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, and you might just ask her if she has any voices about it, or, you know, just see what her truth really is. Because, you know, there's might be a little bit of a projection on your part that she is going to have those voices.
Well, except that last time she was here, she told me I was slutty, so I
Okay.
think I might be clear about that.
I see.
It's more of really letting go of her idea about that, and letting that be okay, that I'm taking mom to dance.
Are you empowered with the word slut?
I am becoming very empowered with the word slut. Yeah,
Very
a whole
good.
workshop around that.
Yeah. Because you can be a slut and be proud of it.
That's right.
I mean, the way I define slut, and actually, I think, is Janie still here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Janie and I define the word slut is that it's a woman who has sex with whoever and whenever she wants to.
I was in a workshop recently, and they empowered it for me.
What's that?
Men can be sluts too?
Yeah.
Well, men usually are already. They don't have to be empowered with it.
And for me, the meaning of this workshop I was just at is it's sensual, loving, unconditional tantrika.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good.
SLUT.
Oh, all right. Well, that's cool. Okay, let's see. I'm just checking the time here. As you notice, I'm a stickler about time because I want to honor your time, and I want to honor
Product placement.
Oh.
I said I was ethical.
Product
That's my
placement.
book. Yeah.
Ethical slut. Okay.
But I shared a lot. But I also had to blacken it out so I could read it on an airplane. I took black paint. I noticed myself needing to blacken it out because I was reading it in the.
Well, there is a lot in our culture that, I mean, one of the projects that Janie and I are working on is called the Magdalene Project.
Yeah.
And part of the intention, well, the main intention behind it is to essentially empower people with their sexuality. You know, there's just so much negative conditioning around sex.
Clear out all the shame,
Yeah.
guilt,
The shame, the guilt, all of that.
expression.
So, so that's part of my work. I mean, that's part of what I do in my sessions, if that's, you know, an intention that people have. It's one of my specialties because, like I said, wherever I've been challenged, I figured that that's going to be one of my gifts. And I've been extremely challenged in the sexual area, so. But I've been working on it for most of my life. And tantrically for the last 20 years. Any other questions, sharings? We've got about 10 minutes. Yes.
I want to
Yes,
share
Nika.
because there was a very subtle feeling that came up, and it was wonderful that you kind of guided us through it. It was very helpful. But the feeling of, you know, loving to dance so much as I do is when I find somebody that I can dance with really well, how easily I just disappear into the oneness. But being asked to come back to myself is very wonderful because that dance is very subtle. But once you finally feel it, it's very empowering. And you helped me today feel that step of going back into myself and letting it grow, you know, through myself. As much as I enjoy the dance with a partner or more partners, to bring that whole energy that I have personally created, to bring it back to myself and let it become my spine. There's a lovely guidance today. It was very subtle, but I really kind of stuck in a different way to do it.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah, this is the thing about partner dancing or group dancing. I spent about 3 years studying with this one teacher where we went very deeply into that. And if you really are present with yourself, you'll notice that voices or pictures or feelings, a lot of things will come up based on being with the other person. You know, like sometimes the voice will be like, what are they doing, or what are they thinking, or what's going on over there, rather than just being with yourself and the point of contact. You know, you just start, your energy starts going over there to that person. And of course, that happens in relationships, right? Where your energy's over there with that other person rather than being with yourself and being really responsible for everything that's going on inside of here.
Yeah, I'd like to just relay a little bit of my experience with John, because it's been really valuable, and it's not easy for him to be willing to tell about it. It's easy for me to. What he just said, this idea that, you know, if you're with a partner, that you tend to have your consciousness upon the other person. But when you're entering an agreed upon relationship with someone who has the kind of skill he does, and who creates the environment and the agreement and the explanation of boundaries and the whole thing, you can enter it and stay in your own field and explore as far out as you want to go. And it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal experience. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. You know, I've done a lot of that kind of dancing on the dance floor and with Kim. Well, I wish more, but anyway. You know, I've done a lot of that sort of very connected dancing with people, but the agreement to go as far and out as it comes naturally without having to be concerned about the other person, about shame, about their boundaries, no concerns whatsoever, is when I got to discover, you know, my own potential.
Thank you, Sharon. That was really sweet. Yeah, it's interesting. I like to call it, I mean, I like the word authentic, as you might have guessed. Authentic sharing, authentic dance. Well, I have another one, authentic relating. And again, it's about relating with people, following the truth, in the truth. You know, setting intentions with this person. What is it that you want? And the kind of relationships that I want are the ones that don't have any, there's no holding back, that the sky's the limit, that we could go anywhere together, that the potential is there to go anywhere. And then you just, you know, set intentions of what you want to create together, if anything, and then you allow for the love and the truth to be present. And just follow the truth, follow the flow, follow the energy. You know, where does it want to go? So it's not only fabulous fun, but it creates a phenomenal transformation, acceleration, if you will.
John, I want to share something about that, following the truth. When we were dancing, Sharon and I, after I let go of the conscious and got into the flow of it, the truth was something that wasn't conscious but was very familiar. It was a divine essence that I knew, and every movement I'd experienced before, but not consciously. So in the context of a dance like that, it was familiar somehow. But I wasn't making it up, and I wasn't trying to do anything. But it was this divine essence that was just moving with me and me with it. And I guess it's a kind of a oneness happening. So that's where the truth leads. Kind of. I mean, when you said the truth, follow the truth. That was the truth right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Almost like the ego is gone.
Yeah.
The ego is not present anymore, just like this
Yes.
neutrality.
And it was like a dance
That's
I've
the
been rehearsing
potential.
for 1,000 years. Right? Every movement is fluid.
Archetypal energies is what shows up there. You experience the deep core humanity inside.
Yeah, I think we've only scratched the surface of what's possible in this kind of, I call it authentic dance, but this kind of movement, this kind of deeply going into the present moment. It's really what it is. It's deeply going into the present moment, deeply listening, and then out of that ground of being, sound, breath, movement arises. Even words can arise. I mean, it could be any number of things, but it starts with that beingness. That's why I call it the marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, because it starts with an intention. You go into the dance with an intention, and then you allow yourself to totally be. And then in that beingness arises the doing. You know, what happens. And it can be a total surprise, you know, flowing from one thing to the next. It's a beautiful experience, and hopefully, you know, you've had some taste of that experience tonight. So we got about 2 or 3 minutes. I would like to just share one thing, and then I'll open it up again for questions. If you're interested in I think I'm reaching my limit here. If you're interested in any future classes that I might be giving, or any information about anything from me, please feel free to put your name and email address on that sheet back there. Okay, I promise not to spam you. But if you're interested in anything else that I might be doing, or if you're interested in, sessions with me, just go ahead and put your name and email address. So thank you very much, and I'm not going to stop, but I just want to honor the time for all of you if you need to leave at 9, but I'll stick around for a little while for any questions or anything.
Just a quick announcement. Brenda and Mitchell are donating the space, and I urge all of us to donate generously. There's a thing in the back there. They put out money and quite a lot of energy to maintain this. So please do that.
Kate, did you have another question, or
Well,
are you complete?
I was just feeling on top of what you said, which was beautiful. It was almost like this pure creation was happening. And then I was trying to remember that sentence that you said. First there was an intention, and then there was what was it?
Well, it starts with an intention, then you move energy.
No.
Oh.
Remember that sentence that
Passion drives
Oh.
passion.
What was that?
Ego drives desire, desire drives passion, passion drives creativity.
Yeah.
That's my favorite place for it.
Yeah. And passion is just another word for anger for.
Yeah, it's like letting go of dualism and merging towards oneness, and that's the moving of the veils through that, the movement. So, sort of.
And then the creation happens where you don't know where you're going to go, because this is complete,
Mhm.
not knowing anything. It's spontaneity. It's beautiful. Thank you, John.
Good job.
Thank you all for being here. I totally enjoyed it.